Go, Green Ranger, go!
Sup, you guys? ASD Classified here, and I'm going to be doing a review of issue 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the comic book series. Oh my god, this comic book series is so good. But first, I have to give this comic issue its props for, talking about Billy's character and how important he is. So there was a scene in the beginning of this comic where Billy and Trainee were working on the Dragon Zord, right? They were trying to see why the Dragon Zord wasn't following Tommy's commands back in issue 0, I believe. So, Billy and Trainee are working on the Zord, and they're also having this discussion. Like, Billy is kind of feeling he's feeling some type of way about Tommy being in the group, but not because of, is Tommy trustworthy or not, but it's because, Tommy's another fighter. Billy at this point, he's not exactly a fighter. Like, he can't fight without his powers. Like, if he is not morphed, then the putties can whoop his ass and whatever. So, so another fighter is coming, and then Tommy's also a pretty good looking guy too, and Billy doesn't feel like he has, the looks, like the other guys on the team. And Trainee's like, actually, Billy, you're not that bad looking, and fighting isn't everything. Like, Billy, your mind is amazing. Like, without you, we couldn't get through half of this shit. Like, you're sitting up here working on the Zords right now. What would we do without you? It's like Billy, at this point, I guess Billy doesn't realize just how important and instrumental he actually is to the team. And I've always felt with Mighty Morphin that the Rangers, they were able to win most of their battles because of 2 reasons. One, because of Tommy, because Tommy really is the greatest Ranger of all time. Sorry, you guys, you have to understand that this has been proven over and over again that Tommy is the best Ranger of all time. There's nobody who can defeat him in battle, And he was also the best mentor of all time. So, Tommy is he's just the boss, There's just no getting around it. But yes, the second reason that the Mighty Morphin team always survived and won their battles was because of Billy. Billy and his magnificent mind. Like, Billy would always solve the problems with Alpha, but at a certain point it was mostly Billy, and Alpha was just kind of there as his assistant. But yes, Billy would come up with all this new weapon, or he would fix the Zords, or he'd make Zords. Like, with Billy's mind, the Rangers got through so much. And this comic kind of hit on that. Like, Billy, without you, we could not get through half of this shit. We couldn't get through 90% of this shit without you, because you're the smart one. And I appreciate Billy also saying that, Trainee, you probably could do this if I wasn't here. And Trainee was like, but that's only because I learned from you. But I liked it because, Trainee did know how to do some of this, because she learned from Billy, and she can always translate for Billy when he's doing this little techno speak. Like, I loved it. I love how close, Trainee and Billy were as friends, And just friends. I know a lot of people always like to put them together, but they never dated, okay? It never happened. I personally prefer Trainee and Billy to just be friends. But hey, if this comic wants to try to put them together, go for it, whatever you want to do. So yeah, in closing, Billy, you're awesome. Stop doubting yourself. So, but yes, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this comic. So, last issue, Scorpina had just shown up in Tommy's house, in his bedroom, right, just threatening him and shit. So this issue picks up from that. Like, she's still in his room threatening him, like, Green Ranger, turn over the power cord or you'll feel my sting, or something, blah blah blah. And Tommy is just not having any of this. He's like, bitch, it is 11 o'clock, I'm tired, it's a school night, how dare you. So they getting ready, to throw down and stuff, but then Tommy hears his mom, walking around, and then, she was walking around the halls or whatever, and Scorpina started to kind of threaten his mom, like, oh, how about I go pay her a visit, and kill her. And then Tommy activates his communicator, the teleportation device on his communicator. He activates it and he grabs Scorpina and they teleport to the woods or something. I thought that was a brilliant move from Tommy's part. Like, he just said, oh bitch, hell no, you ain't gonna touch my mama, and just jumped on her and they teleported. I loved it. That was awesome. So yes, after Tommy and Scorpina teleported to some random part in some random woods, they started to fight. You know, Tommy morphs into the Green Ranger, you know, Dragon Zord. So they fighting and stuff. Then Scorpina calls, you know, a group of putties to help her fight. So Tommy's fighting Scorpina, he's fighting the putties. Eventually the putties are starting to get the upper hand, you know, on Tommy, you know. And also, this whole fight seemed to be powering that weird crystal that Rita gave Scorpina in the previous issue. So, I don't know, this chaos crystal. I don't know what is really powering it. I don't know if it's Tommy fighting powering it, or if it's Tommy's, like, I don't know, negative feelings that are powering the crystal, or whatever. It's powering the crystal. So yeah, Tommy was getting his ass kicked. But before, you know, he could lose the battle, Jason, Kimberly, and then Zach showed up, morphed, and saved his life, you know. So when the other three Rangers showed up and started, you know, getting the putties off Tommy started, you know, seeing that Rita image again, that we're still not sure if it's all in his mind or if it's a side effect from Rita's magic from when he was brainwashed. Tommy was seeing this hallucination again, and Rita was talking to him, and Rita was just, she was really getting to Tommy this time. Like, she was saying stuff like, oh man, you really were getting your butt whipped out there, Tommy. That was just awful. And Tommy was like, hey man, it was like 13 against 1, man. Like, what did you expect me to do? And Rita was like, hey, I know, man. I understand. I completely get it. I mean, you were outnumbered. Hey, I'm your biggest fan. I completely understand. But the other Rangers, you know, they might not understand. You know, if it was Jason dealing with all of this, Jason wouldn't have needed any backup. Jason would have handled this just fine. Like, Rita is awful. She is a messy bitch who lives for drama. But it's getting to Tommy. See, in the first, like, couple of issues of this comic book, you know, Tommy would hear, you know, Rita speaking in his ear, in his mind, a hallucination, whatever, but he never talked back to it. Like, Rita would say shit and he would just, you know, he'd hear it, but he wouldn't, you know, talk back to her. In this issue, he was talking back to her. And that tells me that Tommy is starting to go crazy now. Because, you know, he's actually communicating back to the damn hallucination. I think Tommy is starting to slip. He's starting to lose control over his mind. That's what I feel anyway. Like, it's all getting to him. The stress, everything is getting to the poor boy. So, yeah. So, yeah, Scorpina eventually retreats. All of the Power Rangers go back to the Command Centaur, and they talk with Zordon and Alpha, you know. Billy tells everybody what's going on with the Dragon Zord and why Tommy couldn't, like, properly control the Dragon Zord in issue number 0. And really, there's nothing wrong with the Dragon Zord. The Dragon Zord is perfectly operational. What it is that the Ranger Zords, they work in conjunction with the Power Rangers, I guess. So, like, they have to work together as a team. So if one of the Power Rangers, if they're, like, stressed out, I guess, or if their mind is not completely focused on the battle, then the Zords are gonna act up a little bit. And they compared this to being like horses. Like, I guess if you're riding a horse, I don't. Personally, this whole thing is reminding me of Power Rangers Zeo. So pretty much they're now saying that the Dragon Zord is just like the Red Battle Zord in Zeo, where the Red Battle Zord, you operated that Zord by your mind. It was telepathically that you controlled the Zord. And I feel like with the Dragon Zord, the way this comic is explaining how the Rangers control the Zords, they're saying that it's kind of like that, where you have to be mentally prepared and focused, you know, to operate the Zord in order for it to work properly. If I explained that right. So it feels like it's some type of half-ass Red Battle Zord, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily like this, but whatever. So, yeah, the end of this comic, so Tommy was kind of getting, like, fed up with everything. He was getting all stressed out, and he was kind of getting a little mad at Jason and the other Rangers. Like, oh, okay, so it's all on me. I fucked up in the battle. Oh, okay, that's fine. You know, like, he was getting all stressed out, and then he passed out. And that's how this issue ended, with Tommy passed out on the ground and the other Rangers was like, oh my God, Tommy. So, yeah, overall, I love this issue. This was another great issue. This comic book series, I love it so much. It is just so amazing. I love how they try to give so much more depth to the Rangers, and just it's just they play off actual stuff that happened in the season. They just expand on it. I love it. Like, there was a scene with Jason and Kimberly in this book as well, where Kimberly was visiting Jason when he was teaching one of his martial arts class, like, you know, and his students were, you know, a bunch of kids, and that was great. And after Jason was done teaching the class, like, him and Kim were talking, and Kim was like, yeah, I'm just hanging out right now. I don't feel like being at home. My parents are over there arguing about visitation. Because, you know, Kimberly's parents are divorced, and that came up a few times in Mighty Morphin. So I love that they brought it in this comic as well. You know, her parents fighting and putting all this stress on her. Like, I love it. And Jason was also being a little nosy in this. Like, oh, so Kim, you and Tommy, y'all an item now? Or... And Kim was like, please, I am so busy with gymnastics and trying to get these grades, and, you know, like, I don't have no time for a man. Like, yeah, right. All right, Kim, sure. Tommy could show up at your doorstep tonight asking you if you want some dick, and you know you would take it. Like, shut up. Anyway, but yes, I love this comic book series so much. It is amazing. So yeah, if you're watching this review, let me know what you thought about issue number 2 of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic by Boom Studios. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was mud? Let me know in the comments if you would be so kind. Alright, later you guys. Jam out the...
Don't let evil